Your D&D party has hunted a dangerous monster to its lair, and now it's time to confront the abomination. But how do you make the monster's lair feel like an exciting, formidable place to explore, where a climactic encounter is about to unfold? My name is Ben Byrne, and this is how to make formidable monster lairs for your 5e campaign. A monster's lair is an extension of the monster itself. The lair should embody the themes, traits, and personality of the monster who lives there. Therefore, when designing your monster's lair, you should start by answering questions about the monster itself. What does the monster eat? Where would they sleep? Do they prefer wide, open spaces or cramped, tight tunnels? Can they burrow or do they have wings? Is the monster intelligent with intentional living spaces, or are they merely a predator that's found a place to lurk? Is it a singular monster, or does it hunt in a pack? Would the monster leave behind traces of itself? Would its dribbling acid breath leave sizzling puddles? Can the monster camouflage itself in certain environments? I'm not a simulationist with dungeon design. I don't strictly think that you need to tick every box about where the monster eats, sleeps, poops, keeps its clothes, or gets its fresh water from. But considering your monster's needs and physical traits will provide you with ideas about the location of the lair and what layout and features it might have. For example, an adult dragon's lair might have open spaces for it to move around in easily because it's quite large. There are probably open ceilings that it can crawl through to fly in and out of. Likewise, there are entire areas of a dragon's lair that might only be accessible because the dragon can fly. Or maybe it's amphibious, like a black dragon, and there are entire areas submerged underwater. But you shouldn't purely think pragmatically when creating a monster's lair. What themes are you trying to explore by using this specific monster in your game? And therefore, what atmosphere should its lair have to support your storytelling? A red dragon might thematically represent apocalyptic destruction. Their lair is the ruins of a castle that they obliterated themselves to conquer its once human occupants. The scorched and broken walls of the castle lay exposed like the bones of a corpse. The stones are etched with the shadows of folk incinerated by the dragon's fire. Or perhaps a genie's lair embodies the occupant's pride. Their white marble palace is built atop a lofty mountain where the genie looks down on the rest of the world. The lair features an arcane library, a museum with proudly displayed treasures, and a grand hall with a gilded throne where pilgrims petition the genie for wishes, such as, "Please, genie, have people like this video and subscribe to the channel." Yet the genie also represents the elemental air. Its palace features open spaces for the genie to fly, and when it's provoked, a great storm envelops the mountain. Use a monster's lair to develop and explore the themes the monster embodies. The more in tune a lair is with its occupant, the more immersive exploring the lair will be. But of course, there are many dangers in a lair before reaching the final boss. So what should you fill a lair with for your players to encounter and discover? A monster's lair is unique to an ordinary dungeon because a monster lives there. Every trap, puzzle, or minion that you add to the lair should speak to that monster. How has the lair or its surrounding region been shaped or changed because of the specific monster that lives inside of it? You can think of encounters inside a monster's lair as being kind of like regional effects, like what some high-level monsters are given in the monster manual. It's a place to start thinking to get inspiration. Regional effects, as written in the monster manual, typically aren't always directly hazardous to the party, but you can just make them. For example, the region surrounding and inside of a necromancer's lair might be choked with the corpses of discarded experiments. Some of them may even rise again. An ogre carnifex, which we designed in this video here, cooks massive pots of rotten stew. The smell could permeate the entire lair, attracting aggressive insect swarms. A dryad's grotto might have paths blocked by thick roots, which she has cultivated by awakening treants in the forest. After the party slay each treant in different parts of the grotto, different paths become cleared by the respective treant's roots withering and dying. It's sort of a large-scale puzzle throughout the entire dungeon. The monster's minions should also feel like a sort of regional effect as well. The ogre carnifex might attract carrion eaters or lesser goblinoids with its putrid cooking. The dryad has awoken all sorts of flora in its grotto, including the treants. Once the dryad is slain, these plant creatures are likely to become dormant once more. Lair actions in the climactic encounter are also a fantastic way to make the lair seem formidable. They're not a must and will make any monster fight more dangerous, but I like to establish these lair actions as innate to the lair itself, innate to the environment, rather than a magical effect being conjured by the monster. A red dragon can evoke hot magma and volcanic ash inside a fiery mountain, but I'd change its lair actions if my dragon laired inside the conquered castle's ruins instead. Maybe the dragon can smash down crumbling walls to shower the party in heavy stones. Or perhaps maybe the floor just breaks and gives way as a lair action beneath the party, causing them to tumble down a level. The intention with lair actions is to make the environment feel more dangerous and epic during the battle than necessarily the monster itself. It has its own actions for that. Of course, if you struggle to design entire monster lairs yourself, Lairs of Etharis is now available on D&D Beyond. Lairs of Etharis features 20 monster lairs, each designed for parties of levels 1 all the way to 20, which can be run as one-shots or as part of a campaign for aspiring monster hunters. Lairs of Etharis is entirely integrated into D&D Beyond's maps features, which makes it easier than ever to run a dark fantasy campaign wherever you want to. I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to announce that Grim Hollow has arrived on D&D Beyond. I'll throw a link to it right up here or down in the description as usual so you can check it out for yourself. There is something that you should include in a monster's lair that make them unique to ordinary dungeons, and they're what I call monster hunting clues. I talked about this in one of our most popular videos on creating monster hunter quests that are engaging and really fun. Skilled and experienced monster hunters will gather clues on their quarry before a confrontation to give themselves the greatest chance of survival and victory. Obviously, lots of clues can be gathered while exploring the monster's lair, and this can be really engaging when players don't exactly know the creature they're hunting. For example, the party could learn that the monster injects its prey with poison or has an acid breath by studying the remains of its food. The party might learn a monster's size by studying tracks in and out of its lair. Or the characters could deduce that they're hunting an aberration because they've discovered residual ooze. You can sprinkle these clues throughout the monster's lair, incentivizing your players to explore more of the dungeon that you've prepared. The more clues they gather, the easier the final encounter becomes as the characters drink their potions of poison resistance and prepare their specific helpful spells. And if a monster encounter becomes easier because the party made preparations based on the clues found in the lair, they're gonna feel like professional monster hunters. But of course, the lair is also an opportunity for more general purpose implicit storytelling as well. The party could learn about a monster's history or motivations through discovering things in the lair. Perhaps a demon was summoned because of a dark ritual conducted in a citadel that became its lair. Amateur arcanists didn't know what they were conjuring when they performed the ritual. This story unfolds as the characters uncover incantations scribed in amateur spellbooks. The ritual components are still arranged in the chamber where it occurred. Or maybe there's another reason your characters ventured into a monster's lair altogether. Are they trying to rescue an NPC or recover an artifact? Now some horrific creature is stalking them from the shadows. Wandering into a monster's lair has become an exciting complication in a broader story. The party must search the lair for clues that help rescue the NPC or find the artifact, while simultaneously trying to uncover the identity of the monster that lives there. Monster lairs aren't just caves where monsters live. They're rich storytelling opportunities to make your world feel more real and filled with secrets. Don't waste Monster's Lair by not including monster hunting clues and falling for common pitfalls that I see a lot of GMs make and have also read inside pre-written adventures. Not every monster lair needs to be in a cave. Sorry, I just had to get that out of my system. I want to say that at least 60 to 70% of the monster lairs that I've seen have been in caves. But I think it's emblematic of the biggest pitfall that monster lairs fall into, which is a lair that does not connect with the story or themes of the monster that lives there. There are so many other exciting locations that you can place your monster's lair, which probably makes more sense than a cave. The Fey creatures could be living in healthy emerald groves, or open-air elven ruins, or glittering palaces made of glass nested in the Feywild. A ghost could be haunting the tavern your party are trying to take refuge in, causing strange phenomena like whispers in the walls and blood oozing from keyholes. Everybody knows to never go into room 237. But a mind flayer makes no sense in a tavern. They should be aboard a nautiloid or ruling strange spires with architecture unknown to the mortal realm. The primal nature of a werewolf or a werebear might make more sense in a cave, but I'd rather they lair in an abandoned, overgrown farmstead or a crumbling castle, representing how nature can reclaim the civilized heart of a person. Caves make more sense for monsters with animal intelligence, like Gricks or Fey spiders, not wizards or demon lords. You can subvert expectations with a monster's lair, such as a mind flayer living in a gothic castle, but you can make it make sense through your monster hunting clues. Nobody ever sees the lord of the castle. His servants often fall ill and perish unexpectedly. Folk claim to hear voices or have horrific nightmares near the castle. Your players might start to assume the lord is something more traditionally gothic, like a lich or a vampire or a hag, but with enough clues they might uncover the horrific truth that it's a mind flayer. My other bugbear with monster lairs, no pun intended, is using minions that don't match. This is maybe a little bit more subjective, but it's still something that you should think about at least. I don't think a mind flayer, for example, would use undead minions, personally. But maybe the absence of undead is a clue that the lord of that castle isn't a vampire or a lich. I don't think a lich would have Fey allies or minions. The lich represents nature defied and perverted, while Fey embody the cycle of life and the most natural world. Again, it's about thinking about your monster's minions as regional effects in their lair. What creatures would the monster naturally attract? Thinking of minions in this way will help you maintain the theme and atmosphere you want your lair to have, and therefore maintain your player's immersion in the adventure. So you've got your monster's lair prepared and your monster ready to go, but you still need a reason for your party to adventure there. You'll need to watch this video about setting up monster hunting quests that's actually fun, from gaining the quest right up to slaying the monster. And once the monster's slain, you should watch this video about how your players can use its salvaged remains to craft new magic items.